Most people know the U.S. military as an unstoppable global force, but almost no one outside the Pentagon knows how its true arsenal actually works, across all 6 branches, from the Army's 2,645 Abrams tanks to the Space Force's secret constellations and the Coast Guard's icebreakers. This rarely revealed guide untangles the blurred lines between dominance and vulnerability. It showcases not just the famous war machines, but the classified networks and next-generation firepower that hold America's strategy together. But are these modern marvels enough to counter tomorrow's threats? The answer lies in what you are about to see next. In 1991, the world watched as the U.S. Army's armored columns thundered across the Kuwaiti desert, cutting through Iraq's defenses with a speed and precision that stunned military observers. That campaign cemented the reputation of the M1 Abrams main battle tank, a 70-ton machine powered by a gas turbine engine, armed with a 120mm smoothbore cannon, and protected by advanced composite armor. The Army fields more than 2,600 Abrams tanks today, with the latest SEPV-3 and SEPV-4 upgrades pushing digital fire control, reinforced armor, and new active protection systems. Crews of 4 operate these giants, which can accelerate to over 40 miles per hour on open terrain and deliver accurate fire at ranges that once seemed impossible. Supporting the Abrams is the M2 Bradley infantry fighting vehicle, a 30-ton platform that carries a 3-person crew and up to 6 infantry. With its 25mm chain gun, TOW anti-tank missiles, and upgraded electronics, the Bradley has been the Army's workhorse for decades. Over 4,500 variants remain in service, many now sporting A4 digital upgrades for better survivability and situational awareness. The Stryker family, a wheeled armored vehicle, brings a different kind of flexibility. Weighing about 20 tons and capable of 60 miles per hour, Strykers can move 9 infantry across urban or rural terrain, equipped with remote weapon stations and advanced sensors. More than 4,400 Strykers serve in rapid deployment brigades, their design focused on speed and modularity rather than brute force. Artillery forms the backbone of Army firepower. The M109 Paladin, self-propelled howitzer, paired with the lightweight M777 towed gun, delivers 155mm shells out to 20 miles or more. Over 900 Paladins and 500 M777 guns give commanders a mix of mobility and reach, but the real leap in long-range fires comes from the HIMARS rocket launcher. With more than 550 launchers in service, HIMARS can unleash precision-guided rockets and missiles at targets nearly 200 miles away. This system, validated in recent European conflicts, is now central to Army doctrine, with new precision strike missiles expanding its envelope even further. None of these platforms can move or fight without logistics. The family of medium tactical vehicles, FMTV, forms the Army's logistical backbone, with thousands of trucks moving supplies, fuel, and ammunition. The fiscal year 2026 budget allocates over $100 million to keep these lifelines rolling. Air defense is another layer, with Patriot missile batteries and the new IM SHORAD vehicles protecting ground forces from drones, aircraft, and cruise missiles. On every patrol and in every firefight, the M4 carbine is the soldier's constant companion. Lightweight, reliable, and customizable, the M4 has replaced older rifles as the Army's standard small arm. Special Operations Command, SOCOM, brings its own edge, fielding specialized versions of the M4, advanced night vision and high-tech communications for missions that demand speed and stealth. All these elements, armor, infantry, artillery, rockets, logistics, and elite operators, combine into a force designed for joint maneuver. The Army's modern toolkit is not just about raw numbers or firepower, it is about the fusion of old and new, heavy and light, brute force and precision. The challenge now is balancing the scale of legacy systems with the need for constant modernization, as new threats demand faster adaptation and closer integration with air and naval partners. From the black sand beaches of Tarawa to the storm-battered coast of Okinawa, the Marine Corps built its reputation on the ability to launch from sea to shore, fast and hard. That legacy now rides on the decks of America-class landing helicopter assault ships, floating air bases that carry up to 20 F-35B, Lightning II stealth fighters, and a full Marine Expeditionary Force. Each America-class landing helicopter assault ship has 45,000 tons of hull and can reach over 22 knots. Its flight deck bustles with short takeoff and vertical landing jets, tilt-rotor aircraft, and helicopters ready to deliver Marines anywhere on the globe. The F-35B is more than just a fighter. It is the first supersonic stealth jet designed for vertical landings. Pilots can launch from the ship, strike deep inland, and land back on deck, all without needing a long runway. With sensor fusion and advanced targeting, the F-35B gives the Marines real-time intelligence and precision strike options in places where traditional airfields do not exist. The America class can carry up to 20 of these jets, making it the most heavily armed amphibious ship afloat. Getting Marines from ship to shore requires speed, lift, and flexibility. The MV-22 Osprey, a tilt-rotor aircraft that combines the vertical takeoff of a helicopter with the speed of a turboprop plane, has redefined what is possible. Each Osprey hauls 24 fully equipped Marines at over 270 miles per hour, flying twice as far and 3 times as fast as the helicopters it replaced. With more than 300 in service, the MV-22 gives commanders the reach to bypass enemy defenses and land forces where they are least expected. On the water, the amphibious combat vehicle, known as the ACV, carries 13 Marines plus a crew of 3 from ship to shore, even in rough seas. This 8-wheeled, 35-ton vehicle can swim at over 8 knots, then roll onto land and keep moving at highway speeds. The ACV family includes command variants, gun vehicles with remote turrets, and recovery models, all designed for distributed operations under Force Design 2030. The Marines plan to field 500 ACVs in multiple roles, aiming for a force that can land, disperse, and strike before the enemy can react. Once ashore, fire support comes from the lightweight M777 howitzer. Towed by helicopters or trucks, the M777 weighs less than 9,000 pounds but fires 155mm shells out to 25 miles. Its digital fire control and global positioning system guided rounds let small Marine teams deliver precision artillery support even in rugged terrain. Combined with HIMARS rocket launchers, these guns give expeditionary units the punch to shape the battlefield far beyond the beachhead. This blend of aviation, armor, and artillery is built for speed and surprise. Unlike the Army's heavy brigades, Marine expeditionary units are lighter, more mobile, and designed to seize ground quickly, then hold it with support from the sea. Every platform, from the Osprey to the ACV, reflects a single priority: get Marines in fast, keep them supplied, and bring overwhelming force wherever the nation calls. The U.S. Navy's power begins with its aircraft carriers, massive, nuclear-powered flagships that define sea control. The Gerald R. Ford class, the newest of the fleet, carries more than 4,500 crew and an air wing of F-35C and FA-18 Super Hornet fighters. At 100,000 tons, these ships never need to refuel. Their electromagnetic aircraft launch system, EMALS, replaces steam catapults to launch more aircraft per day, up to 160 sorties, a third more than the Nimitz class. 10 Ford-class carriers are planned, with the first already at sea, each one a floating airbase that can deploy anywhere on the globe. Surrounding these carriers, Arleigh Burke-class destroyers form the backbone of the surface fleet. More than 74 are in service, each carrying a crew of 300 and bristling with 96 vertical launch cells. These cells can fire Tomahawk cruise missiles, SM-6 interceptors, and anti-submarine rockets. The latest Flight 3 Berks include the SPY-6 radar, able to track stealth threats and coordinate missile defense across a task group. With the Aegis combat system, these destroyers serve as both shield and sword, defending the carrier and striking targets hundreds of miles away. Beneath the waves, Virginia-class attack submarines hunt silently. Each carries 12 vertical launch tubes and torpedo bays, with Block 5 variants adding the Virginia payload module, boosting their Tomahawk loadout by 28 additional missiles. 22 Virginias are in service, with nearly 50 planned. For strategic deterrence, the Ohio-class ballistic missile submarines hide in the deep, each armed with up to 20 Trident II nuclear missiles. The Columbia-class will soon take their place, beginning in 2031, ensuring the Navy's leg of the nuclear triad remains unbroken. The Navy's arsenal includes more than 4,000 Tomahawk missiles, giving commanders the reach to strike land targets from hundreds of miles offshore. Every layer, from the flight deck to the ocean depths, works together to project power, protect sea lanes, and support joint operations with the Air Force and Marines. The result is a maritime force built to control the world's oceans, ready for whatever comes next. The U.S. Air Force operates on a scale and speed that reshapes the meaning of global reach. At the heart of its power sits a fleet of stealth and air superiority fighters, strategic bombers, nuclear-armed missiles, and the world's largest airlift and refueling force. The F-22 Raptor leads the charge for air dominance. Its radar-evading shape, super cruise engines, and advanced sensors give it an edge in any sky. With 187 Raptors in service, the Air Force keeps them at peak readiness through steady upgrades, pairing them with the new F-15EX Eagle II. This next-generation F-15EX can carry up to a dozen AIM-120 air-to-air missiles, more than any other fighter on Earth, and is built for both dogfights and long-range strikes, with modern radar and electronic warfare suites. Bombers form the backbone of strategic strike. The B-52 Stratofortress, first flown in 1952, still patrols the globe. 76 remain in active service, each now receiving new Rolls-Royce engines and upgraded avionics to keep flying through the 2050s. Alongside them, the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber, only 20 ever built, can slip past enemy radar and deliver both conventional and nuclear payloads. These aircraft anchor the Air Force's leg of the nuclear triad, always ready for rapid deployment. Beneath American soil, 400 Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missiles stand alert in hardened silos. Each can reach targets across the world in under 30 minutes. The Next Generation Sentinel, or GBSD, enters production this decade, with initial deployment planned for 2029. This modernization ensures the Intercontinental Ballistic Missile Force remains a credible deterrent into the 2070s. Mobility is the Air Force's silent advantage. The C-17 Globemaster III, with 222 in service, can haul tanks, troops, and supplies anywhere on the planet, landing on short or damaged runways. The KC-46 Pegasus tanker, capable of offloading 212,000 pounds of fuel in a single mission, keeps fighters and bombers airborne far from home. These aircraft form the arteries of the joint force, enabling rapid response, humanitarian relief, and sustained combat operations. Every element of the Air Force fleet is designed for speed, reach, and resilience, from the fighters securing the skies, to the bombers and missiles deterring threats, to the airlifters and tankers that make global operations possible. As new threats emerge and the pace of war accelerates, the Air Force's ability to project power anywhere, anytime, remains a cornerstone of American military strength. After 9/11, the Coast Guard's mission expanded far beyond search and rescue. The focus shifted to defending the nation's shores, intercepting threats before they could reach American ports, and patrolling the world's busiest shipping lanes. To meet these demands, the service launched its largest recapitalization in decades, replacing Cold War-era cutters and aging aircraft with new, more capable assets built for a new era of maritime security. At the heart of this transformation stands the Legend-class National Security Cutter. Each of these 418-foot ships carries a crew of over 120 and can reach speeds up to 28 knots. Outfitted with a 57mm rapid-fire gun, advanced radar, and a flight deck for helicopters and drones, the cutter can pursue drug runners in the Caribbean, intercept illegal fishing fleets in the Pacific, or support joint operations with the Navy and allies. 10 cutters are now in service, with the final hulls delivered in 2024, forming the backbone of the Coast Guard's high-endurance fleet. Aviation fills in the gaps where ships can't reach fast enough. The HH-60 Jayhawk helicopter, powered by twin T-700 engines, can fly 700 miles without refueling and hoist survivors from raging seas or flooded towns. The fixed-wing HC-144 Ocean Sentry patrols thousands of miles of coastline, providing search, surveillance, and command support. Together, these aircraft extend the Coast Guard's eyes and reach from the Gulf of Alaska to the Caribbean Sea. But the Arctic remains a frontier where old equipment struggles to keep up. The aging Polar Star icebreaker is outmatched by the demands of a warming, contested North. The new Polar Security Cutter, designed to break through 4 feet of ice at 3 knots, is scheduled for delivery in 2028. Until then, the Coast Guard's ability to project power and support scientific missions in polar regions remains limited, underscoring the urgent need for modern icebreaking capability. The Coast Guard's modern fleet isn't just about new hardware, it is about closing the gaps in homeland security. With faster cutters, advanced aircraft, and new icebreakers on the horizon, the service stands ready to meet threats wherever they appear, on the open ocean, in coastal waters, or deep in the ice-choked Arctic. Orbiting high above the planet, a silent network of American satellites forms the backbone of every modern military operation. The Global Positioning System, now in its 3rd generation, fields 31 satellites broadcasting encrypted M-code signals, delivering jam-resistant navigation and timing to troops, aircraft, and ships worldwide. Missile warning comes from the Space-Based Infrared System, SBIRS, with 6 geosynchronous satellites scanning for the heat signatures of launches in real time. For secure communications, the Advanced Extremely High Frequency constellation links the White House, nuclear forces, and deployed commanders through 6 satellites hardened against jamming and interception. The Space Development Agency's growing mesh of low Earth orbit sensors tracks thousands of objects, from hostile missiles to tumbling debris, feeding data into joint command networks. All told, more than 100 operational U.S. military satellites enable everything from precision strikes to humanitarian aid. Without these constellations, the entire joint force, from submarines to stealth bombers, would be operating in the dark. The invisible infrastructure of the Space Force has become the foundation for every branch's ability to move, strike, and survive in a contested world. Across every branch, the future of American military power lies in the mesh of networks that tie sensors, shooters, and logistics into a single, responsive force. The Joint All-Domain Command and Control System, known as JADC2, serves as the digital backbone. It fuses data from satellites, ground radars, and airborne sensors, then pushes targeting information in seconds to whoever can strike fastest, whether that is a Navy destroyer, an Air Force bomber, or an Army HIMARS battery. Exercises have already shown this in action. A Space Force satellite detects a launch, relays the track through Link 16 and cooperative engagement capability, and within moments, a missile battery or fighter responds. Unmanned systems are multiplying across the services. The Air Force MQ-9 Reaper fleet, now over 300 strong, provides persistent surveillance and precision strikes. The Navy MQ-25 Stingray will soon refuel jets in midair from carrier decks, while swarms of unmanned undersea and surface vessels patrol contested waters. The Marine Corps is fielding autonomous vehicles for reconnaissance and supply runs, and the Army experiments with robotic combat vehicles point toward future manned-unmanned teaming. Electronic warfare platforms like the EA-18G Growler jam enemy radars and communications, opening lanes for joint strikes. Meanwhile, the Navy fleet of 27 LMSR Sealift ships keeps the flow of armor, fuel, and ammunition moving across oceans, a logistical web crucial for sustained operations. Looking ahead to fiscal year 2026 and beyond, every service is investing in cloud-based battle networks, AI-driven targeting, and resilient communications that can survive jamming or cyber attack. The goal is a force that senses threats, shares data, and delivers effects across land, sea, air, space, and cyberspace faster than any adversary can react. If you want more complete breakdowns of American military power, subscribe to the channel for future videos. Turkey's armored vehicle industry has taken a different path from the American model, driven by export ambitions and rapid domestic growth since the early 2000s. The Altay main battle tank stands at the center of this effort, a 65-ton platform with a 120mm smoothbore gun, composite and reactive armor, and a crew of 4. While the Altay prototype has drawn attention at defense expos, production has been slowed by power pack delays and engine sourcing challenges. No Altays have entered Turkish service yet, but the design has been pitched aggressively to export customers. For lighter forces, the Kaplan and Pars families have become Turkey's armored exports of choice. The Kaplan MT tracked vehicle, weighing around 35 tons, offers modular armor and a 105mm main gun, while the Pars series provides wheeled variants for troop transport or fire support. Combined, Kaplan and Pars vehicles have reached over 1,000 units exported to countries across Asia and the Middle East. Otokar's Tulpar infantry fighting vehicle, still in prototype stages, features a 30mm cannon, advanced sensors, and hybrid diesel-electric drive, aiming for both protection and mobility in a 42-ton package. Turkish doctrine emphasizes modularity and adaptability. These vehicles are designed for rapid configuration changes, appealing to foreign buyers with varying needs. In contrast, the U.S. favors heavy, standardized fleets like Abrams and Bradley, prioritizing logistics and sustainment for large-scale combined arms warfare. The Turkish approach trades scale for flexibility, highlighting a tension between export-driven innovation and the demands of fielding a force at the size and complexity of the American military. Right now, the U.S. military invests over $840 billion annually, pushing technology and joint operations to new limits. As budgets rise and threats evolve, every branch shapes not just defense, but global stability itself. The arsenal is public, its consequences are not. The true cost and purpose of power remain questions only an informed public can answer. For more insight, subscribe and join the conversation below.